All right, let's go ahead and get started for day number 10. Day number 10 of my 30-day art challenge. Remember, there's no prompts, there's no themes, it's just people getting together for an hour making some art. And I'm just sharing my process and I kind of talk about it a little bit and, answer any questions that people have. So, it's just kind of a low pressure, like, let's all come together and make some art. Um, I was kind of looking over what I've done so far for the first 9 days, and a few pieces that I really kind of like. Oh yeah, those are really nice, and other pieces I'm like, yeah, I'm not so happy about them, but that's okay. And I've explained this over and over again that the purpose of this isn't to make work every single time that I absolutely love. It's more about that quality, and I think as artists that we want to strive to make a lot of art, and the more we make, the better we get, and it's kind of like that. The quantity thing. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want to have quality over quantity, but I kind of think that sometimes we need to make the quantity. Number one, the more we work, the more that we show up and do our thing, the better we get. Just we hone our skills, we master what we're doing, we figure things out, and we just become better at it. So that's the first thing, is that quality or quantity leads to that mastery of figuring certain things out. And the other thing is that what happens is that if we try to sit down and try to hit a home run every single time with our art, we're not going to do that. I mean, it's impossible. I mean, to kind of use that baseball analogy, is that it will, we can't expect to hit a home run every single time. However, if we show up to bat more and more, then yeah, we're going to hit more home runs. So, anyway, so I'm glad that you're here with me, day 10. I see that my internet connection is fluctuating, and so I apologize. I've tried to do everything I could on this end to kind of make it run more smoothly, but looks like we're having a bit of some issues. So remember, I am recording this, so if it becomes too bad, you can always tune in to the recording later. So anyway, I appreciate you being here with me today. As always, if you are here and you want to say hi, feel free to pop into the comments and say hi and let us know where you are coming from. And it's always kind of awesome to see that. So anyway, so today, just going to kind of dive in. I'm thinking, I was looking at some of the other artwork that I made, and I'm kind of thinking I'm in a green kind of mode. So I pulled out some paints, and I'm going to try to work with that. And then the other thing is that I'm really liking the ones where I've kept it simple, and the ones that are a little bit more abstract. It's just kind of, I really like those. So I don't know, we'll see how this one evolves. They all evolve differently, so it's always kind of neat to see where they are evolving. So anyway, so please join me, make some art, and go ahead and switch it over. And like I said, hopefully the connection will stay okay. And it looks like it's dropping now. And now it's back up. So there's all this fluctuation with the internet connection. So I do apologize for that, and hopefully we'll be able to get through it. So yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and switch over, maybe. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and push through, and if I need to, I can upload the recorded video and make it nice and smooth. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here tonight. So I've got my ink tense, my Derwent ink tense paints, and I'm going to go ahead and dive in and use a little bit of the green. There's this, it's kind of like a phthalo green, a teal green that I really like. I'm going to keep it very, very light. And just putting down a beginning layer, and gonna go ahead and dry it now. Okay, so I have a nice light background. Go ahead and use some. I'm going to use some of that same color, and I think actually I'm going to grab my mesh. Let me go ahead and do something a little different. Create some texture on this. Yeah, I apologize if there's any kind of lag, or from where I'm looking, it seems like the video's freezing a lot, so I don't know if that's how it's showing up on your end, but hopefully it's bearable. That's the one thing with the live streams. I always like, okay, is the internet going to hold up? And I've got pretty decent internet, but it's just, you can never tell from day to day how it's going to be. So if you're tuning in and you want to pop into the comments and say hi, let us know where you're tuning in from. That's awesome. It's always, like I've said before again and again, it's always nice to kind of see who's out there and see a lot of similar names from day to day, and sometimes see some new names, so that's always nice. Alright, I like that. Let's see here. I think I pulled out a bunch of other fodder, some collage materials, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use it all, but again, I've been really digging these security envelopes. I pulled out a couple with some different patterns on them, so I might try to use some of those. I've been really interested in having the stripes go kind of from one side to the other side. Yeah, I keep looking up, and it seems like my internet's bouncing back and forth. The software that I use shows kind of like how strong the internet connection is, and it's like bouncing from red to green and back and forth. And so I don't know if this is getting through to you all, but hopefully it is, and hopefully it's not too jittery and jumpy. The beauty of technology. When it works, it's awesome. When it doesn't work, it's frustrating. So the nice thing about using the Inktense paints and the Inktense pencils is that both of them are similar colors. So this kind of green that I was using is, I have a green pencil that is supposedly the same color. I think I'm going to grab my template. So unlike yesterday when I was using more organic shapes, today I'm back to kind of using some more geometric shapes. But again, I was kind of thinking about some of the things that I've done, and I'm not trying to recreate anything, but just trying to think about like what was it about those certain ones that I really like, and trying to like maybe capture that feel again. I was on Dick Blick. Well, I guess they no longer call themselves Dick Blick, even though their email or their website address is still dickblick.com. But Blick Art Materials, that's where I normally order my supplies from. I noticed that the Inktense paints, these paints here, they now have individual pans, which is great because I'm almost out of a couple colors, especially this yellow. And they also have a new 24 color set, but it's not these two palettes combined. It's got some other colors in it too. So I was kind of looking at that going, oh, I might need to get that. As if I need more paints. I mean, I already have 3 sets of watercolors sitting right here in front of me. Well, technically, again, these aren't watercolor paints. They're water-soluble ink paints. So just trying to keep the composition a little bit simpler than maybe I normally go. So this kind of looks like a very pale, very light yellowish green, or greenish yellow really. They call it like sherbet lemon. So it's kind of a cool yellow, has just a hint of green in it. But it goes well with this teal green that I'm using. Kind of feel like this little rectangle needs some of this teal green around it. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about putting something up there, but I think I'll hold off. Again, it's kind of like that notion, like, oh, is it going to be too much? Flew away from me. don't know if my pen is dying. I mean, I've used it a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised. Or if it's just kind of getting kind of mucked up with the glue and water soluble pencil that's down. Like I've said before, I'm sure this is one of the mixed media artists' biggest laments, is how materials can clog or affect other materials that you use. I kind of feel like I'm a bit more quiet tonight than I have been some of the other nights, so just feel free if you have any questions, pop them into the comments. I think part of it is just with the way the internet's acting up, it's kind of got me worried about that. But if you got any questions or comments or anything, feel free to put them in the comments. Yeah, I think maps are definitely a huge influence on at least these pieces. I mean, I use maps a lot physically, like with collage, but then drawing mapping marks like I'm doing now. I kind of I'm not sure why. I think it's part of the fun of art is that sometimes you'll do things and it's about figuring out what about it does draws you to that. And I think part of it is that maps always help orient us in space, help us get from A to B, kind of show us where we are or where we're going. I think symbolically, maps are part of a journey. They're something that we're all familiar with. Well, I appreciate the reassurance of some of you that saying that the internet issue is okay. Um, that's the thing. It's like I don't know what it's like on your end. All right, so I'm kind of digging that. I like the blue creates sort of this all over pattern that really helps tie things together. I'm gonna go back. I was digging through my fodder and I found more of the bingo cards. I think this is one I used the other night, but yeah, I really am digging the numbers. One thing is when you find something that you like and you use it throughout your work, then that becomes part of your style. And it's one of those things like, oh, I like that, so I'm going to use that, and then it becomes part of the way you work. So whether it's bingo numbers like this, or whether it's maps, or maybe there are certain images that you come back to again and again. I know a lot of beginning artists sort of kind of wonder about like, well, how do I find my style? And part of that is, well, you explore things that interest you. And the images and the colors that you use are part of that style. Might be interesting to use one of these that actually have the ink on them. think I'm gonna go pull out a thinner, this extra super fine um, pit pen. I want some lines, but I want them to be pretty thin. I feel like I want a little bit more color, maybe a little bit of blue. I have this turquoise. Let's try that. I think some red in there to kind of make some more contrast. I don't know if this is going to be too many lines coming in there now. Pull out the colored pencils again. Had this one piece of map, and I just kind of was wondering if I could put that in there, but I don't know if it'd just be too much. I think it'll be too much. I'm kind of feeling like this one's done. I'm not too happy with it. It didn't turn out well. That's the thing. It's like it didn't turn out the way I'd hoped. I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm not quite happy with. But then, it's like I might put it away and I might come back to it tomorrow, and maybe I'll see it differently. that's the one thing. Sometimes with our art pieces, we might feel like it's not working or that it's not turning out the way we had hoped. But then when we kind of step back from it, take some time away, it turns out better than we think it does. So anyway, let's go ahead and flip it over. So yeah, I'm kind of wrapping up a little bit early today, but that's kind of how things go. Sometimes you feel like there's not enough time, and you just want to keep working and working and working, and other times you just kind of feel like, okay, I think this is kind of done. And partly today was just sort of like, okay, I feel like I've just kind of hit the end, hit a wall, hit like, okay, this just isn't going as smoothly as I'd hoped. So, but that's part of making art. And as I was saying at the beginning tonight, that it's not, you're not always hitting a home run with your art. But the important thing is that you're just showing up and you're actually doing the work, and you figure things out as you go along. So anyway, as always, if you have questions or comments, pop them into the comments, and I'll be glad to answer them and try to respond both here now live and then also in kind of written responses a little bit later. So anyway, yeah, so if you have any questions, please let me know. If not, I will see you tomorrow. So I'll be back here tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Hopefully we won't have so many internet connection issues, but we'll wait and see. That's the beautiful thing about technology. You just never know. So anyway, so thank you all so much. And like I said, I really appreciate you being here and spending some time with me, making some art with me, and glad to see a lot of the same people showing up every day. So I will see. Gotta fix this first. I will see you tomorrow. So thank you so much.